Hey everybody, John C.
Denise Richards and the lovely Lulu.
Welcome back to another All Things Home. Can you believe how awesome Christmas was last week?
It was amazing. I think it was the best ever.
Did you have a good time?
I really did.
Who'd you get to spend it with?
My daughter and my sister and my friends.
Well, that's nice. That's a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. My favorite part, though, is I sponsored a single mom for Christmas.
Did you really?
I did, because I was a single mom, and it was really hard. So that was my favorite part of Christmas. It was the best Christmas present I could have given to myself.
It is the time of year where you give back. And sponsoring another mom is awesome. Now, she is a single mom, kids?
Single mom, three kids. Yeah. She has worked for Lee District Schools for 20 years, driving a bus, taking care of our children.
Good for her.
And it was time for somebody to be able to give back to her. So
I love that.
I had a chance, and I took it, man.
Good for you. Well, we're coming up on the new year, which is pretty exciting as well, too, here in a few days. Next week, we'll be celebrating 2024. Can't believe that. But today is December 28th. I want to tell you what today is. Today is a Pledge of Allegiance Day. Can you believe that?
I can. I think it's a fabulous thing.
I think we should say the Pledge of Allegiance. No, I'm just kidding. We won't bore people with that. But every morning at school, when I was growing up, we always said the Pledge of Allegiance. Did you guys do that?
Every morning like clockwork.
I don't think they do that anymore.
The beginning of my Girl Scout meetings also.
See?
Yeah.
See? Denise was a Girl Scout.
I was a Girl Scout.
Good for you. Good for you. Scouts honor. See? That's why she's so honest. Today is also National Chocolate Candy Day.
Who wouldn't love National Chocolate Candy Day except my poor friend Bo, who is allergic to chocolate?
Sorry, Bo. And then also today is National Card Playing Day.
Now that's fun.
Isn't that fun?
You can eat chocolate while you're playing the cards.
Yes. And saying the Pledge of Allegiance at the same time. All those things. And, not to be political, because, we don't like to be too political, but just enough to be edgy. Maybe that's what's wrong with our public schools these days. I don't think they say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore.
They don't?
We did it every morning growing up. Did you say the Pledge of Allegiance at school every day?
Absolutely.
So did I
also heard a bad rumor that they aren't teaching cursive writing anymore.
Lord help us.
Oh, my
Lord
goodness
help
sakes
us.
alive. Okay, moving
Let's
on.
talk about this. So last week was probably our best episode, by the way. Actually, it would have been 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to mention this, even though it was 2 weeks ago. The $90,000 citizen policy shift in private insurance. It's so important. Go back to the December 7th, actually, episodes 3 weeks ago, because we skipped one. I don't know if you knew that. We missed one.
Yeah, a little out of order, but...
Insurance. Go back, check out that video. It's really good. This week, though, we're going to talk about buying a house or have a wedding. What do you think about that? Just a topic right off bat. If you had those options to buy a house or have a wedding, which would you choose?
Well, the clear winner is buy a house because it's a true investment.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Denise and I finally disagree on something for once. But it's a valid point, and that's kind of part of this. And the article underlines the tone of the fact that it costs a lot of money to have a wedding.
Indeed.
Indeed. And it can cost a lot of money to buy a house, especially with prices going up and interest rates going up, right? I know you're probably going to disagree with that part a little bit just because of the 3% down payment, seller assistance, a lot of things that Denise can help you with. But basically, this article gives a couple suggestions. I'm just going to hit them, and we'll bounce wherever we want to go with them. How's that sound?
Sounds groovy.
I know. So experts say let's see, what's it say? Experts say couples can have a wedding and a house if they budget and set priorities. Well said. So actually there's a third option. I didn't give it to you. Wedding, house, or both. Okay, so the article kind of leans towards you can do both if you will just set a budget. I think that's very wise advice because as we know, I don't know what your wedding was like. Weddings can get a little bit run away with cost.
Indeed. And any sort of party, really, if you think about it.
Christmas parties.
Wedding especially, though.
Wedding parties, New Year's parties. All of those things can run away a little bit in cost. So define your down payment goal in regards to your house. Make sure you know what that is. Talk to a lender. Think about how much you actually will need for your down payment. Automate your savings plans. Go ahead and start saving. If you haven't yet, but you're getting married here pretty soon, get that savings set aside, right? Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say about the savings portion?
Well, you have your Christmas account, right? Why not have your wedding account?
Well said.
And your house account.
Well said.
And your John and Denise account. Just kidding.
Well said. No, I'm fine with that. I'm not kidding. That's actually a really good one. Let's add that. Set priorities to avoid overspending. Super smart. For both house and wedding.
Absolutely. Set reasonable goals for yourself.
Reasonable. I was showing a couple of home a few weeks ago. First home they've ever had. and they were talking about how they needed all these bedrooms. And I'm thinking to myself, for who? It's just two of you, right? And they wanted a bunch of rooms. I'm like, well, when our family comes, okay, well, listen, your first home, you may not be able to let all your friends and family come visit with you every weekend.
This is why they call it a starter home.
Starter homes, guys. Well said, Denise. All right, so automate your savings plan, leverage the wedding to meet your financial goals. Before you read that, what do you think that means? Leverage the wedding.
I think it means if you really only have about $100 for your wedding, you should plan on lunch downtown and the court office.
Okay.
Simple. And then you've leveraged your wedding down to your budget.
Okay.
On the flip side, maybe you leverage down just your entertainment, or you leverage down your caterer, flowers.
Okay. Cut the budget on some of them. That's what you're saying. Great point. That's why I asked you before I said it, because that's not at all what this is suggesting. This is suggesting actually leverage your actual wedding in regards to when people come to your wedding, what do they normally do? They bring a
gift.
They bring a gift. Leverage that gift that people are already willing to give you at your wedding for the purchase of your home.
Okay.
It talks briefly about crowdfunding. I think that's a little bit generation, 19, whatever that would be, like little kid idea. But people will say, you've seen it on the back of people's cars, fund me at, and they'll put their handle, and you can put money in people's accounts. So people do that at weddings as well, too.
Interesting.
I know. I went to a wedding recently, and they actually had that on their gift registration table. They had a QR code. You could scan it, and you could give them money right there.
You don't even have to bother with trying to go find the right gift or going to the registry.
Don't bother. Don't even bother with those things. Just show up at the wedding.
Give them cash for a house so they can buy a house.
Your phone. You don't even need your phone. You just need cash.
That's it.
Drop it on the table. Save that money for your down payment on the purchase of your new home. I think that's not a bad idea.
It's brilliant. I mean, you almost make it sound like you could actually get married, have the wedding, so you can buy a house.
That's right. We don't love each other. We're just getting married so we can buy a house. It is leverage.
It does sound.
So it also talks about here, maybe you have an appliance fund. Tell your guest, instead of buying me a toaster, we're going to have an appliance fund. And you can give towards the appliance fund. You can give towards the paint fund, because you're probably going to have to paint a room in the house once you buy it and close. Brilliant ideas. I wouldn't do it, but brilliant practical ideas.
It's very practical.
I know. Any other thoughts on that?
Not a one.
I didn't think so. So let's do this. Let's connect the wonderful people out there with somebody that we know well. Miss Amy.
Amy Langevin is a title agent with Florida Freedom Title, and with our business, real estate, of course, we have to trust in a title company, and they do the closing. They provide the title insurance. What else do they do, John?
Well, you would think that Denise and I do everything, but we actually don't. So what we've done is we've connected with strong title companies who help us with all the documents. They do lien searches. After your home gets under contract, this will be another episode, but after your home gets under contract, it's not like it's just done. There's normally like a 30-day process period between contract to close. And what happens is Amy jumps in. We give her the contract. She starts doing all the research, make sure that when the closing day comes, it's your home. It's not somebody else's that you didn't know about.
Title
it's
transfers clearly, yes.
Clear title transfers. Yeah. That's what title companies do.
She's amazing. She happens to be a super awesome person, too.
Super awesome. Yeah. They have an office. We actually went to their open house a while back up in Fort Myers. They're also mobile. Doesn't matter if you're here in Florida. They can send documents up north. If you're selling your home in Florida, they'll send up the paperwork up north. You sign it, overnight it, boom, closed.
There it is.
I don't know what else to say about that. I'm really excited about the new year. Can you tell? Happy New Year to everybody out there. We hope you have a wonderful 2024. And, the last thing I like to say this time of year is I'll see you next year.
Absolutely. See you next year.